This is the Biz Call. Question 1. What's your name?
MatChacon. So I only spell my name with one T, so it's Matt like yoga mat.
Question 2. What's the name of your business?
Name of the company is Doghead Simulations. But I'll tell you, everybody asks where the name came from, and the name literally came from us spending a long weekend drinking a bunch of pizza and beer, and one of the beers was Dogfish Head beer. So we named the company after a beer, kind of. So Doghead. That's where the name came from.
Question 3. Describe your business in 1 or 2 sentences. What do you do?
So what we've done, we've built an immersive software platform named Roomie, R-U-M-I-I, and it enables people to kind of work and learn together from anywhere on Earth, but they all feel as though they're in the same room at the same time. So it's a virtual reality space, and it leverages a piece of IP that we call immersive monotasking.
Okie doke. So this is a collaborative type of an experience. Is that what it is, or educational?
It is. It's think of like a virtual reality space where you can either join from a head-mounted display or your phone or any computer, and people kind of join from anywhere around the world. But unlike like a very flat kind of unengaging Zoom or Skype experience, you're very immersed in that room, and it's spatial, so I can look to my left and right and see people that joined from my left and right. And it's just like being, in an office or a conference room or a classroom, but you can do it from anywhere.
Cool. All right. Question number 4. What is your revenue model? How do you make your money?
Yeah, pretty important to make money when you're running a business. Otherwise, it's just a hobby. So we have a 3-tier subscription service. And what that looks like is people can subscribe to the Roomie platform. And through these subscriptions, they receive increasing levels of benefits from each model. So essentially, we've got our lowest package is our Connect package. It starts at $195 a month. It goes up from there. And with each package, you get different tools and different things that are available to you.
Okay. Question number 5. Are you brick and mortar, online, or both?
Remote. We're only online. So we've actually never had an office since 2015. We have 0 plans to ever have an office. And I actually haven't even been to an office in over a decade. So I've been working remote for quite a long while. But the reason we don't have an office is because 2 main reasons. Number 1, it really enables us to hire quite literally the best talent from anywhere on Earth. So we have, people that work in Brazil and, Europe and America. And we're able to decrease our operating costs, our annual operating costs, by about 80%. So having a brick and mortar is a very, very expensive proposition. And I don't think a lot of people know kind of what goes into financing that type of operation. There's a lot of little things that nickel and dime you, every month. So.
Okay. Question number 6, which is my favorite question. How did you decide to get into this business?
It's a good question. So prior to owning this company, I actually owned a remote agile consulting firm for a number of years. And it was a good business to be in, and I had customers all over the world. But, interfacing with those customers on a daily basis was pretty difficult because we used all of the traditional kind of marketing incumbents that are out there that we're all very used to now, like Zoom, BlueJeans, Skype, you name it, we used it. And it was a very flat, unengaging experience. So in the 2015, 2016 timeframe, virtual reality specifically, but more broadly spatial computing, was finally maturing into an industry that had kind of the 3 legs of the stool are pretty important. They had technology, talent, and the content required to scale a business. And so I decided, you know what, it's very, very difficult to communicate with my customers over these tools, and it's a very unengaging experience. I needed something better than that. So we just invented a spatial computing company named Doghead Simulations, created a platform named Roomy, and I just called up all of my customers, and quite literally 100% of them were willing to try it. and that's literally how I started this company. I had one company that basically morphed into this company.
Good. Question 7. Why would customers choose you over your competition?
Important thing to focus on, yeah. So I think we're price friendly. We're very price friendly in the market. And, unlike a lot of our competition, and I think this can be said for software companies, in general, we only have the features and functionality that our customers want, that they need, and that they're willing to pay for. And that starts with a phone call. We call up our customers and we literally ask them, hey, what do you want? What do you need? What are you willing to pay for? And the majority of whatever those answers are, that goes into our backlog and our product development lifecycle. But I think more important than that, and something that a lot of companies get wrong is they don't do this, and this is something that we do very regularly, is we are laser focused on providing a very positive customer experience. And that alone goes a very, very long way. So we've got about 7,000 institutions around the world that use us, and I can tell you that at least one person, one human being from all 7,000 companies or educational institutions or government agencies that use us, at least one human being has my personal cell phone, and they can call anytime they want. And we have customers all over the world, and believe me, they do. So it's been very good, I think, for us to build these relationships.
Question 8. If you have one, what's your exit strategy or long-term goal for the business? Yeah,
so every company should definitely have an end game. So we actually have two. We have both, to be honest with you. So to be very transparent, our focus is on our long-term goal, and our long-term goal is to be the immersive collaboration platform of choice for the top 100 schools and enterprise companies around the world, but also the platform of choice for immersive training throughout the U.S. Department of Defense. And we're pretty close to achieving that goal, and we have great relationships with I would say, the top 100 in schools and enterprise companies, and a fantastic relationship with the DoD. But pragmatically speaking, we absolutely do have a quote-unquote short-term exit strategy, either a merger or an acquisition, because regardless of your strategy when you're building a business, the pragmatic reality is that within like maybe 3, 5, 6 years, you might be approached for either a merger or an acquisition, and you should understand how to speak that language and kind of know what you want to do if that happens.
Okay, question 9. What are you doing to increase your business?
Yeah, so we are building this company, and we always have been building this company one paying customer at a time. So what we do to increase our business is we have a pretty clear land and expand strategy, but what we do is we focus on providing a very high and extremely positive customer experience to only one large customer. And we treat that customer like they're the only customer that exists in our universe. And then we develop a relationship with them, and then what we do, that's our land strategy. And to expand, what we do is we leverage their trust and experience with us to earn similar customer candidates in the market. And we've been doing that since 2016, and it's now 2021, and it works really well for us.
So just to make sure I understand it, yours sounds like an intensive, focused, direct sales type of approach.
Yeah, but we don't even sell anything. It is very intense. It's very focused. But I'm not actually calling up any decision maker at any company. I never have. I don't call the CEOs. I don't talk to business development executives. I don't talk to VPs, none of that. So here's a good example. If we're going to go to like Harvard, which is a customer of ours, I'm not calling up the dean of Harvard Business School, which is where I went, but I'm not doing that. What we do is we start with either the library services or like an entrepreneurship, professor, a class, or a professor looking to provide a more immersive experience. And we talk to that person, and we just say, hey, look, here's our software. I'm going to give you a 90-day free trial. Do whatever you want with it, and call me 24 hours, 7-day a week, whatever you need. And we just build a relationship with them. And what happens is, in almost, not every case, but in almost every case that we do that is, we learn how they're using our software, what works, what doesn't, and we help them navigate to a procurement model in our subscription service that makes the most sense for them. And we're relatively inexpensive, so a lot of times our customers, regardless of school, enterprise company, or government agency, a lot of times our customers just throw us on their personal credit card and they'll just expense it. And then they'll tell, because we focus on providing a high level of customer service, it's just word of mouth, so we have very positive net effects that happen because of that. And we just organically, it helps us organically generate customers exactly like that. So it works nice for us.
That is, I'll tell you, that's something that nobody that I've interviewed has expressed, but I like it. Good for you.
Cool.
Question 10. How do you measure, I think I know this, but how do you measure your marketing success?
So what we do is we have, everything we do is very intentional. So our marketing, sales and marketing activities are very specific. So for every single dollar spent or for every action taken, we have a very clear return on investment. And one measure that we use, one KPI, is that regardless of dollars or action, right, that we have that return on investment must result in at least a 30% customer conversion rate. Otherwise, we're not doing it. So we have an internal kind of culture, company culture saying here for our sales and marketing efforts, which is, if what you're doing isn't going to help result in a sale or a new customer, even a free customer, because that will probably result in a sale down the road. If it's not going to result in a sale, don't do it. Just completely ignore it. It doesn't exist in your world. And we've actually never even spent a single, since owning this company in early 2015, we went from LLC to C Corp, but C Corp in 2016. But we've never spent a single penny on marketing or advertising or press in 5 years of owning the company. And that strategy has worked very, very well for us. So.
Very good. Question 11. Yes or no? Doesn't have to be a long answer. Are you profitable?
We are. Yes.
Yay. Question 12. How many employees do you have?
We have 5 full-time employees in the company, and we've only ever had 5 full-time employees.
Okay. But do you have additional contractors and subs?
We do. It depends. Honestly, the business ebbs and flows like every business. So, when things are a little heavier and we have more needs, then we will augment our staff with 1099 contractors.
Okay. Question 13 and 14, 2 sides of the same coin. Mm-hmm. Question 13, what's been the best decision you've made so far?
By far, the best decision, this is a tough one. This was actually hard for me to decide on just one, because I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes, and some of those have been good.
So that's question 14.
Yeah, right. But choosing one is hard. But I would say have a very clear land and expand strategy for your business. So you're not just kind of, out there, taking a shotgun approach and trying to boil the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Question 14. What's been the worst decision you've made so far?
I can tell you I've made this a couple times, but hands down the worst decision I've ever made as an entrepreneur, and I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years now, hiring my friends. Worst decision I've ever made.
Wow. Please care to elaborate?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I mean, when you hire your friends, you're not necessarily hiring the best person for the job. And because they're your friends, I've never hired family, which I think that's might be the best decision I've ever made. It's not to hire family, but when you hire your friends, you let them get away with a lot, and it's hard to have difficult decisions with your friends, when they're not performing well. And I've had to separate from founders who I founded companies with, who were really good friends of mine, and I've had to fire friends who just weren't working, and they're not working well. So don't hire your friends. Hire the best person for the job. And if the best person is your friend, great. Probably going to work out really well. So.
Very good. Okay, so question 15, is there anything you think that our listeners should hear about, that you'd like to inform them about, that you think we didn't cover, that you'd like to add? Just to free ball it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I would say for anyone listening who is an entrepreneur or looking to start a business, or you're going to transition to become an entrepreneur, do not, and I cannot stress this enough, absolutely never, just do not raise money. Don't build a business and don't build a PowerPoint slide and then go to Pitch Fest and try to raise money. Just don't do it. My advice, because I've done that, and I've raised millions of dollars in the past, and it's, so I'm speaking from experience here. My advice is to first build a customer-funded business, and then only raise money if and when you need that money to scale. Like if you don't have the revenue, you need to scale. So build a customer-funded business first, because that's going to help you know a few things. It's going to help you know exactly who your customers are, what they want, what they need, and what they're actually willing to pay for. But the most important thing, though, is using that approach is that it enables you to build a business that's actually capable of generating revenue. So I'll end it by saying this. The spatial computing company industry. The spatial computing industry, it's a tough industry to be in because it hasn't reached, that global tipping point yet of adoption. We're getting there, but 5 years in, we haven't done it yet. So because I focused on building a customer-funded business first, I've been able to generate revenue, have a strong balance sheet, and outlast my competition who have raised, $20 and $30 million and then got out of business in 18 months. So when you raise money, you didn't earn it, right? You didn't earn that money, you just raised it because you're in some institutional VC giant portfolio. And they don't need you to succeed. They need just one of those companies to succeed. So you end up spending fast, and you burn through that money. So instead of burning through investment, start slow and slowly put in the hard work to build a customer-funded business. And honestly, you're going to have those customers for a very, very long time.
Boy, I sure hope people are listening. All righty then. Hey, no, seriously, that's great stuff. Okay, so lastly, very slowly, give me the name of the business again and the URL where people can reach out to you.
Sure, yeah. The name of the business is Doghead Simulations, and you can just find us online, actually. You can, the best ways to find us online are go to the website, go to DogheadSimulations.com, so it's plural, simulations. So DogheadSimulations.com, or you can find me on Twitter just by looking me up. My Twitter handle is @TheVRCEO.
If you'd like to plug your business on the BizCall podcast, simply visit thebizcall.com and fill out the form. If you become a guest, you'll receive a free lifetime membership to the BizCall discussion and networking list. If you're too shy, you can still join the BizCall list at thebizcall.com.